Lab number 214. In this lab we will continue development of our electricity consumption checker application, and right now we will focus on providing the map capabilities inside our app. So we will need to display a map right here on available tasks page, and for that we will use components which is called Angular Google Maps. So let's look for it. Just open the browser and type Angular Google Maps. So you should navigate to website, and we need then to go to a quick start page to just have a quick overview how to install it. And basically we will start with installing these components through Boyer. So let's do it. Let's go back to our IDE. I will close the Ionic live reload and install new component right here. So basically it is completed. We should be able to see it under lib. So let's do a sync. Yep, so now we see Angular Google Maps here together with alltask, and basically next step for us is to load those two in our index.html file. So let's do it by opening the index.html and actually loading them. So we'll load them right after our other components like Angular Translate, but in this case the path will be Angular Google Maps, and then dist folder, and then Angular Google.js file. And for alltask, the link will be lib alltask, then dist folder, and then alltask.js file. So just like this. Before we will be able to use it, so we will need to load the Google Maps API, and as you can see it can be done in two ways. So first one is recommended one, the second one is the easiest one. So we will go with recommended one. It's not really hard to do. So the idea below is that it will be loaded in a async way. So we will wait until it will be loaded, and only after that we will work with our map. So the way how we will do it is actually we will take this config and place it inside our app.js file. Just like this. Before closing, we will add one more config here, and basically we will also need to add this part of code inside our controller. So in our case the controller name will be alltasks controller. So this callback will be actually launched when our map will be finished loading, so it's like promise. And basically we'll need to add a dependency here to make it usable. So just the same way as they showed us. Yep, this step is completed. So next step for us is to go back to documentation and actually include dependency for this Google Maps, Angular Google Maps to our app. So we will go back to app.js file and include it on top. Just like this. And then we will also need to define our map. We will be doing that, but first of all, creating a new object in our scope of our controller. So let's go back to controller, and here inside we will do the following. So we will create our object, and then we will add the code in our file, in our alltasks HTML. So I will do it just instead of this map. And we will also need to specify the heights, so let's, as an example, use the same one as they provided. And then with the CSS we will change it. So for that I will open the style CSS and place it here at the bottom, just like this. And let's preview what we have now, but please do not forget to launch back live reload server. So here's our map. It's actually working, but a bit in a strange way, because we have scroll on our page, so we need to disable scroll first of all. It can be done pretty simple. We just need to go back to our all tasks and put here scroll to false, just like this. And now you're seeing that it's not scrollable, and our map is still working. So excellent. This is basically the first step, and we succeeded with it. Let's also change these stylings, change the language for total tasks, not to show just the plain text, but to use our Angular translate. So instead of total tasks, we will just use the Angular translate construction. So something like total tasks and translate. Yep. Let's also change the date here. So we will need to create some kind of variable. Let's call it just date, and then apply the date filter to it. So in our case, it will be something like long date. So, and this date variable should be created, of course. So inside our controller all tasks, we will define it. So just like this, we use the standard function date, and here our date is ready. Let's also change the names of our tabs. So instead of having static names, we will do dynamic with translation. So in tabs HTML, we'll rename first one to title my tasks. Second one to available tasks. And last one to exit. Just like this. And let's also work with the exit tab. So for this, I will first of all close each and every page to make it fresher, and open just the exit. So here basically we will need to provide some kind of exit capabilities, and the trick is that on iOS the exit button is not allowed anymore. So according to the guidelines, human interface guidelines, iOS app must not contain the exit button, and if you will submit the app to App Store, it can fail to pass the validation if it has the exit button. So we will do it the following way. We will have the exit button if the app is for Android, and if the app is for iOS, instead of exit button, we will have a logout button, something like this. So first of all, if we will click on exit button, we should see some kind of dialog. So just Microsoft style, are you really want to exit, or are you really want to log out or not? So something like this. Instead of just typing that, let's do a translation right away. Exit confirm, for example, or we will also have here logout confirm if it will be for iOS. So just like this, and it will be in some kind of div. So we'll implement styles later on. Something like this. And let's implement here something like ngIf. So if it will be iOS, then basically we will show this one, and if it won't be iOS, then we won't. Yeah, different way. So if it's not null, for example, like 1 or whatever, so then we will display the logout, because maybe we'll have BlackBerry or something like that, who knows. So if it will be actually null, then we will display the exit. So, and the second thing that we will need to do is to create some kind of button bar to either press OK or press back, and we will take that, of course, from Ionic documentation. So something like this. So we will have either OK, either back. And of course, we will need to specify actions here. So if we will press OK, we will do the following. We will actually call some kind of function. So let it be one function for both exit and logout, and let's just name it something like that. So both exits and logout, just like this. And if we are clicking back, then we need to go back and let it be back in history, I mean. So let's just change the state. So let's name this function go back, and we will be getting back in history. in this particular example. So something like that. And now we need to implement those two functions. So let's do it. Let's go to our controller right here. So let's start with go back. For this, we will need to add a dependency to Ionic history. And we can actually do the navigation in history. So we can say Ionic history and go back. And basically, because it's the same name, it's better to rename our function to something like back in history, for example. And let's rename it here also. So just like this. And we will also need to implement our second one. I mean, our OK button that will either activate the app, either it will actually do a logout if we will be on iOS. So in our case, the function name was exit logout. So exit logout, just like this. And let's actually pass here our iOS variable as an input parameter. So iOS, and then we will have two options. So let's do like this. If iOS won't be one, then we will do the following. So if it's not one, it means it will be Android, so we will use our Worklight API for that, and in our case we will use Worklight app it should be something like close. Yeah, so what you see is deprecated, so it won't be available in further releases, but we will use it for now for Android. So if it's not, we will actually do the logout. So in our case, we will just change the state. So the same way as we were doing it before. Here. We will just define a new function. Let's call it logout. Yes, and basically here we will change the state. Of course, we will need to add a dependency to use state. So we will do it. And the state that we will use will be login. And we will actually call this function here. Just like this. And let's add the same check for existence of Worklight libraries in the app to be able to work with our app in a browser. So let's check. So if there will be nothing, let's just log it and say something, well, it's not loaded. Yep, so just like this. Let's check how it's looking. So we have our small demo here, and if we are clicking back, we are not going anything because we do not have anything in history. So let's navigate to available tasks and back to exit, and then click back. Still nothing happens. So let's check. Okay, it doesn't react on both buttons anyhow. So let's add some kind of login to make sure that we are inside our functions. So here we will have something like back button clicked. And here we will have something like exits logout button clicked. So let's look at it now. Still nothing happens. So let's check our code. It seems to be okay. Okay, the controller. Yeah, the reason for that is actually that I passed it to a wrong controller. So instead of all tasks, of course, I should do it in exit controller. And those dependencies, I mean state and ionic history, should be added there. So let's do it. Okay, it's still not working. But now we are seeing some actions. Okay, let's try it a bit different way. So let's check it with back view by creating some new variable. Let's call it the same way, something like back view, and assigning it the value of back view in ionic history, and then just saying back view go. This should work most probably. So let's start from my tasks. Yep, it's working. Available tasks. Yep, it's working. Excellent. Yes, so this approach worked. Excellent. And now we will need actually to test this OK button. And for that, let's do build and deploy our app and then pack it to mobile device. So for that, we will go to mfp tab to build and deploy. Now we can open our Android simulator, and you already seen that there is an update. Excellent. So we can click update to download the latest updates. Yep, so we have our app here. Language is working. Excellent. So our tutorial is here. Excellent. Tabs are here. My tasks, available tasks. Map is here. Also good news. So excellent. Exit. So back button works. OK button, close our app. Yep. So we cannot launch it anymore, it's not here. Excellent, so basically it's working as expected. So now when we tested our app on a mobile device, on emulator, next thing we will need to do, we will need to focus on the details page, but we will do it in our next lab. On this step, our lab 214 is finished. Thank you.